What is love when age is just a number? That question is like a suggestion for deep thoughts about the emotional relationship between people with an age gap. It takes us on a journey of discovery, where age is not a barrier, but a part of a unique and authentic love story. When people ask questions about love and age differences, a space full of complex emotions and meaningful experiences gradually appears before their eyes. Love between people of different ages is not rare, but each story has its beauty. Especially for older women, love is not only the experience of youth, but also the crystallization of life experiences, maturity, and valuable lessons that life brings. Older women are experienced and have open hearts, ready to give the most sincere love. These women, with the beauty of experience, are no longer simply young girls with vague dreams about love. They are people who have lived through challenges, losses, and successes. That experience, with wrinkles, traces of time, stories that have passed, and lessons about strength, resilience, and depth. Older women bring a different energy source, a strength only time can temper. Especially when love comes from sincerity, it is not an imposition or vague expectation, but a genuine companionship, without judgment and without the need to prove anything. That is when love becomes a journey of growing together, learning, and overcoming life's challenges. Helping people understand that there is nothing wrong or wrong with them to be tacked for, rather than to wish away. Michael Ty Thomasetti. We often hear about social prejudices about love relationships between two people with age gaps. However, reality is proven that happiness does not necessarily follow existing standards. Each relationship is a unique symphony where differences are not barriers, but catalysts for deepening the relationship. Older women do not seek perfection in a relationship, but seek peace, companionship, and understanding from a sincere man. To conquer their hearts is not a race to become more perfect, but a journey to understand more deeply, to learn to speak the language of sincerity, and to wait for a door to their hearts to open patiently. The extraordinary love stories that we hear, love that has overcome the barriers of society and age, are proof that love is truly limitless. It offers a fresh look at relationships, where everyone can be part of a meaningful and profound journey of love. Exercise for anxiousness and pain with the help of clarifying our perspective. The beauty of older women, what youth doesn't have. Older women have beauty that lies not only in their appearance, but also in their soul and experience. It is a profound beauty, built through years of life experience, the difficulties and challenges they have overcome. It is not just wrinkles or gray hair. The beauty of older women is a blend of inner values and emotional maturity. The power of experience is what gives them strength. Older women have gone through the storms of life, from falling to standing up more potent than ever. Wrinkles are not only traces of time, but also stories and lessons that life has taught them. Every time they look in the mirror, they see their appearance and their experiences, achievements and failures, all of which have contributed to that profound beauty. The souls of older women also become more beautiful over the years. Maturity is reflected in knowledge and the sophistication of thinking and feeling. They understand themselves, know what they want and need, and no longer chase after frivolous values. These qualities can only be formed over time, through the days of living and learning, to become the best version of themselves. Independence is not only intense and profound, but it is also a great attraction. Older women no longer depend on anyone else to find their value. They are people who know who they are, what they need, and what they want in life. That confidence and independence create a unique charm, attracting men who genuinely appreciate the value of a relationship based on sharing and companionship. This does not mean they do not seek love. On the contrary, they seek sincere love without judgment and imposition. They want a relationship that brings peace, where they can be themselves without trying to change to fit other people's expectations. Trust and companionship are more critical than distant promises because for them, true love comes from sharing and understanding. Older women do not hesitate to express themselves and do not try to hide any part of themselves. That is why they become attractive in the eyes of those who truly understand and appreciate their value. There is no longer a need to be perfect or dependent on appearance. Their true beauty comes from maturity and confidence, a harmonious combination of profound and modern things. Only mature men dare to love older women because they understand that love is complicated. Still, it is also the most beautiful thing when both overcome differences to create a separate world where love is a beacon that guides the way among all challenges. The maturity in how these men love helps them see the beauty of older women, not only through their appearance, but also through their life stories. The beauty of older women lies not only in the visible things, but also in the more profound things that only those who genuinely care and love can recognize. It is a proud, emotional, and meaningful journey where true beauty is defined by sincerity and companionship. True love, the journey from emotion to trust. True love is not simply about promises or sweet words. It is clearly shown through every action, every look, and even the way people share the most minor things in life. Sincerity begins with understanding yourself and the other person, from knowing that love is not about possession, but nurturing and respecting each other. A man who loves an older woman often does not need to use flowery words to prove his feelings. Instead, he chooses to listen, understand, and always be there for her in the most critical moments. Sincere eyes, gentle gestures, and simple actions like holding hands while walking or sharing a simple meal prove true love. A touching story is that of Joe, a 35-year-old man who loves Emma, a 50-year-old woman. He doesn't mind explaining his love to his family and friends. He always reminds them, "My love is not a word, but a way I choose to accompany her through all the ups and downs." Little things, like preparing medicine when Emma has a cold or remembering her favorite food, confirm that he loves her and cares deeply for her. As they go through many stages of life, older women often have a different view of love. They no longer dream about far-fetched things, but seek peace, companionship, and deep understanding. Love for them is not just a fleeting romance, but a relationship that is strong enough for them to trust and rely on. What older women really want is a relationship that is non-judgmental. They don't need a perfect man, but a sincere man willing to accept them for who they are, including their scars and flaws. They need a sense of security and love, where they can be themselves without fear of being judged or hurt. They also do not seek vague promises. Trust and companionship are their top priorities. A man knows how to say "I love you" and how to make them feel loved by sharing responsibilities, listening to their concerns, and always being there when they need them. Not everyone has the courage to love an older woman. This requires maturity, understanding, and the ability to face social prejudices. A man who loves an older woman is not looking for youthfulness on the outside, but for depth in the soul and richness of their life experiences. This courage lies in daring to love and how a man treats the woman he loves. He is not pressured by the age gap or the difference in experience, but on the contrary, sees it as an opportunity to learn and develop himself. A sincere man knows that love has no limits, and that maturity is the factor that helps him maintain the relationship. Robert, a 40-year-old engineer, once shared his love for Jane, 55. Loving her, I realized that love is not about flowery words, but about maturity and how we treat each other. We do not try to change each other, but learn to accept and improve the good things together. Robert does not hesitate to spend time learning to cook traditional dishes with Jane, something he never thought he would do. That is how he shows his courage and sincerity in love. When loving an older woman, a sincere man often carries a maturity in the way he loves that not everyone has. They understand that love is not about possession or control, but companionship and sharing. This maturity is shown through the way they resolve conflicts, through patience, and the ability to put themselves in the other person's shoes to understand. They also know how to cherish every moment with their loved ones, even the simplest things. An afternoon reading together, a long conversation about old stories, or simply sitting silently beside each other all become precious memories. This maturity makes love more sustainable and creates an inspiring relationship. The journey from emotion to trust is not easy, but with sincerity, all challenges can be overcome. Love with older women is not only a different choice, but also a testament to the power of true love. Rebecca joins me in the focus room. The art of winning an older woman's heart. When starting a relationship with an older woman, a man must realize this is not just a typical love journey. This journey requires deep understanding, sincerity, and the ability to learn from the experiences of others constantly. Older women are not only those who have experienced many emotions in life, but also have a deeper insight into the actual value of love. Before entering any relationship, it is essential to understand the person you love. Older women often have life experiences and lessons from past failures and successes, giving them a more realistic view of life and relationships. They no longer look at promises or superficial gestures, but they look for harmony in the soul, sharing in every moment. Men must learn to express their feelings in a language older women appreciate. This is not just about loving words, but also sincere actions and caring and attentive gestures in a natural and unobtrusive way. Sometimes a loving look, a gentle hug, or a deep listening can express more sincerity than words. However, conquering the hearts of older women can be challenging. They need time to open up and trust a new person. Therefore, men need to be patient and not rush in this journey. Patience is shown by not imposing and not rushing into decisions without understanding the other person's thoughts and feelings. Instead, he must let the relationship develop naturally, step by step, from the smallest moments. Another critical factor in conquering the hearts of older women is respecting their independence. Older women often go through stages of autonomy. They do not want to be dependent on or controlled by anyone. Therefore, men must know how to balance caring and respecting the other person's freedom. This respect comes not only from words, but also from his actions and decisions, when he is with her. Besides, empathy is an indispensable factor. Older women often have thoughts and stories they want to share, and men need to learn how to listen and feel those things. Sometimes their stories do not need explanations. Just a nod, a gentle caress, or a meaningful presence is enough to make them feel safe and loved. Finally, the art of conquering the hearts of older women is a journey without end. It requires constant effort and maturity in the way of loving. By combining sincerity, patience, and respect, a man will win a woman's heart and build a deep, lasting, and meaningful relationship. Differences are catalysts, not barriers. Age in love is sometimes seen as a difficult barrier to overcome, a factor that brings about differences. But in fact, if you look deeper, age can be a valuable asset, not a burden. This difference is not simply a gap in years, but also a diversity of thoughts, experiences, and perspectives on life. When both sides understand that those differences are an indispensable part of creating richness and sustainability for the relationship, age becomes a factor that makes love more unique than ever. A relationship with an age gap can be challenging, but it will become a fascinating and emotional journey if you know how to approach it correctly. That is, when two generations come together, not to confront each other, but to grow, learn, and create new values. Together, they build a familiar world where age is no longer an obstacle, but a source of inspiration and motivation for each person to improve daily. In these relationships, sharing comes not only from commonalities, but also from differences. An older woman with rich life experience can teach a younger man lessons about patience, sympathy, and how to see the little things in life that sometimes the young are not mature enough to understand. In return, the younger man brings new energy, enthusiasm, and the ability to adapt quickly to changes, which the older woman can appreciate and learn from. The generation gap is not always easy to narrow, but it can be minimized through sharing interests, experiences, and even small stories in daily life. Both participate in new activities, learn from each other, and build unique memories they will cherish forever. The important thing is to respect the differences, not to try to change each other to be more suitable. Cultural and thinking differences also play an essential role in enriching the relationship. An older woman often carries with her traditional values, lessons from the past that a younger man can learn and develop. On the contrary, a younger man's modernity and fresh perspective can help an older woman adapt and embrace positive societal changes. When two worlds blend, differences are no longer a problem but a catalyst to create a strong and sustainable relationship. Age is not a limitation, but a complement, bringing new perspectives, profound lessons, and memorable experiences. Together, they build a future where everything is nurtured with love and understanding, no longer limited by numbers or social prejudices. Extraordinary love stories. Love is always a journey full of challenges and discoveries, especially when two people of different ages decide to walk together. The extraordinary love stories we witness are not only a testament to the power of love, but also show that age barriers are not the deciding factor in the sustainability or meaning of a relationship. These stories often start from coincidental moments, fateful encounters, or a deep understanding between two hearts in tune. People in love with an age gap often face many prejudices and doubts from society. However, when true love becomes the foundation of the relationship, the judgments become blurred and meaningless. Such love stories bring a new perspective on human emotions, where understanding, sharing, and respect become the main factors. In that journey, we can feel the maturity of both people, where each person not only seeks companionship, but also the opportunity to become better, brighter, and happier. The moments together are romantic and great lessons about life, acceptance, and tolerance. The people in that story, no matter what age, all carry within themselves distinct values and lessons that they want to pass on to their loved ones. Older women are mature in age, soul, and life experiences. They have gone through the ups and downs of life, from stumbling to decisive steps forward. They find freedom, confidence, and an admirable depth in each of those steps. What is remarkable in these stories is the ability of people to overcome all difficulties and obstacles that society or family may pose. It is not simply a love relationship, but a companionship in every day of life, every smile and every tear. Their love is like a lasting flame, not quickly extinguished by walls of prejudice or the separation of time. Brave men who love older women face differences and learn to love more deeply and completely. The maturity of men in these relationships is not about grasping or controlling, but about respect and understanding. They learn to listen and recognize the little things that women care about and cherish, things that sometimes young relationships are not deep enough to feel. These stories show us that true love is not just temporary emotions, but a commitment to go through challenges together to build a solid future. The lessons from timeless love stories are not just about certain emotions, but also inspire others to follow suit and continue believing in the power of true love. When looking to the future, these stories bring hope that no matter how society changes or how old or young, true love will still be the guiding light, the foundation for precious and beautiful relationships. Footnote: love, the connection of the present and the future. Love is not just about memories or fleeting moments. It is a powerful presence in life, connecting people with each other and the moments and profound experiences they create together. Especially for older women, love is not simply a search for fleeting emotions, but also a true life journey, where sincerity and commitment overcome all-time challenges. With their experience, older women bring to love a depth and sustainability that not all relationships can achieve. They have gone through the ups and downs of life, experienced failure and success, suffering and happiness. Wrinkles on the face are a sign of time passing, and stories and invaluable lessons have accumulated over the years. That is why love for older women is not just an emotion, but also an integral part of their journey, helping them to continue to grow and move forward. There is no room for ambiguity or naive romance in love between older people. Instead, it is practicality, deep understanding, and lasting commitment. Every gesture and every word has real meaning and value. Sometimes sincerity is shown through small actions and sincere care, not just empty promises. Older women seek companionship, understanding, and a real partner in love willing to face life's challenges with them, not only emotionally but also in the practical difficulties of everyday life. A man who wants to conquer the heart of an older woman does not need to do anything big or ostentatious. Maturity and stability in the way of love are what they appreciate. A sincere man who knows how to listen, understands, and is willing to share his hidden corners is the one who can build a long-term and sustainable relationship. Love with older women is a shared journey where both make a new world together, connected by respect and deep values. However, love is not always easy. Sometimes differences in generations, perspectives on life, or different expectations can be significant challenges. But those differences become catalysts for them to learn and grow, creating a familiar world that both feel complete. Experiences, interests, and perspectives on life will be shared, enriching the relationship and helping the two understand each other better. Love with older women is not an easy journey, but it is a worthwhile journey, because at every step, they create unforgettable memories, sweet moments, and valuable lessons about companionship and sharing. They are the ones who inspire young people, showing that love is truly a miracle, not dependent on age, but based on sincerity and harmony between two souls. Love with all your heart, not by age. Love, a seemingly simple concept, is infinitely complex and profound. In life's journey, everyone has their own experiences of love, from the first vibrations of youth to mature relationships with rich emotions. In particular, love between older women and younger men is gradually becoming fascinating, breaking old stereotypes and opening up new perspectives. The heart knows no age. It does not distinguish between numbers, but only feels sincerity, empathy, and a deep connection between two people. Loving an older woman is not a random choice or a momentary impulse, but a decision that carries maturity, understanding, and long-term commitment. It is a journey that requires courage, patience, and respect. Love between two different generations can be challenging. Age differences, life experiences, and social expectations can create significant challenges. However, those challenges are the catalysts that help relationships grow deeper. Older women carry life lessons and experiences that not everyone has, which becomes the foundation for true love. They better understand the core values of a relationship, from sincerity to companionship, trust to sharing. A man who loves an older woman needs to be mature and have an open heart. It is challenging to face opposing opinions from society, family, friends, and age prejudices. However, those challenges are opportunities to prove that love takes time to follow society's rules. Happiness does not come from judgment, but from sincerity and commitment. When we enter a relationship, we have affection and responsibility for each other. Older women look for a man not only to love, but also to build a solid future together. They want companionship, sharing, and a relationship without pressure. It is a journey of learning and growing together. And to have sincere love, a man must learn to speak the language of sincerity. Not flowery words or flashy gestures, but care, sharing, and understanding from the heart. That is the only way for the relationship to develop sustainably. In that journey, they will realize that age is not a barrier but a valuable asset. Differences create richness in the relationship, helping them learn from each other and enjoy meaningful moments together. Generational gaps gradually narrow as two worlds merge, creating new values, memorable memories, and endless love. Life is a colorful song, and love is the most wonderful note. To write the most beautiful chapters of life, love with all your heart, and let sincerity lead the way. Age is no longer critical, but only true love. Love makes life meaningful and joyful.